Dunnit Theatre, where tonight we have a special presentation starring Jeffrey Freedman and Helen Kritzler in the whodunit presentation of the evening.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. John Garrett, I presume?
That's correct.
Oh, it's a pleasure. John, I have some heavy thing to discuss with you. Are you ready?
I am always ready.
That's what I heard about you. Always ready. Even my friend Louise said you were always ready.
Well, Louise is a very bright lady.
Yes, well, you know, this is something that has recently happened. You have heard. You have heard?
I've heard everything.
You've heard about my Uncle John. John Lenz, multi-millionaire, my uncle, related on my mother's side, was murdered. I believe he was murdered. Everybody's saying it was suicide, but I know it wasn't suicide. I know him very well. I mean, we were really close.
Why do you think it was murder?
Well, because, you know, they're all saying that it was suicide, you know, but he was, you know, he seemed depressed to everybody else, but he and I, we used to, like, talk about things together. We were really close, and I really loved him, and he really loved me, you know, and I know he wasn't depressed.
That still isn't good enough. I need some evidence. I'll take a look at the body, though.
You want to see the body?
Yes, I will look at the body.
Okay, well, let me take you to the body. Here's the body. I can't look. You look. I can't look.
How did he die?
Well, see, what happened is that on Friday night about 7 o'clock, I was with my mother, and we were up in the ante room in front of the back room behind the side room. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So he was in back of the ante room on top of the fore room behind the tennis room. He laughed a lot. He used to laugh a lot. So we heard him laughing. He was laughing because he was playing tennis, you see? And everybody thought he was very, very depressed because of the tennis, you know? So I was with my mother, and all of a sudden, we heard this clunk. It's a very loud clunk. And
how did this clunk sound?
It sounded clunk. It's like clunk.
Was it a tinny clunk or a clunk like a body falling?
Oh, give me an example of what a tinny clunk sounds like.
Like clunk.
Uh-huh.
Or thump.
That was it. The last
The
one.
thump.
Do that again.
Thump.
Do it again.
Thump.
Do it again.
Thump.
I like that. Oh,
You
yes.
have to get back to me.
Oh, okay. Yes, so anyway, so they said it was a suicide, but I know it wasn't a suicide because I was really close to him and we were really nice and I really liked him.
How did he die?
Poison.
Poison?
Yes.
How do you know?
Well, that's what the doctor said.
That's what the doctor said. Was there any poison around him?
There was a bottle.
A bottle?
Yes.
How big?
It was a bottle. It was a very big bottle. It said, "Eat me."
It said, "Eat me."
Yes.
Eat?
Yes.
Eat?
I think the doctor, maybe you want to talk to the doctor. Do you want to interview the doctor?
That might be a good idea.
The doctor did an autopsy and the doctor said that it was poison.
Poison? It said, "Eat me" on the bottle. How big was the bottle? Was there anything left inside?
It had little candies. There were candies. It was candies.
And they said, "Eat me" on the side.
Yeah, we had a Halloween party.
It was murder.
Yes, I think it was murder. But they say it's suicide. I know it wasn't suicide. He was really happy. He wasn't depressed, not like they said.
Was there a note?
There was a note.
What did it say?
The note said, "I'm sorry to leave you all. Goodbye." And it was from my uncle signed it.
Can I see the signature?
Okay, but then you'll have to talk to the handwriting expert. We have a handwriting expert. You want to meet the handwriting expert?
Yes,
Okay,
I definitely want
I'll
to
bring
meet
you to the handwriting expert. Because, Fernando Pendergast.
Right, right.
The detective is here. He would like to discuss with you the suicide note. Mr. John, this is Mrs. Frengelgas.
Hello.
And you may talk to her.
I'm a graphologist. And I will tell you the analysis of the personality, and then if it relates to what you say about your uncle, is it?
Yes.
If it does not relate, then you know there's something wrong with it. And you tell me whether this is so. This writing indicates a character that is a very egocentric person.
Egocentric?
Yes, an egocentric person who has a rejection for people around him, and apparently he's a person who overlooks a lot of important things in his life because he doesn't dot his I's, and he has a yearning for his past history. He had always been very close to his parents, and he rejects anybody else except his parents and his background and his own ego. Now, is that the kind of a person he was?
Excuse me, can you look at this handwriting also?
Oh, this is an entirely different person. This is a person who has a great deal of love in him and is a warm, loving human being.
That was my uncle. That was what he was like. He wasn't like that at all. It wasn't a suicide note. I knew it.
This is an entirely different person.
Thanks.
I think you're right. It must have been murder.
Well, then what do you think about the suicide note? What do you think about what she said about that he was egocentric and all?
Well, I interviewed the entire staff, and they all told me that he was egocentric.
Yeah?
Yes.
But he wasn't really.
Well, that was their opinion.
But see, he only acted that way because nobody ever showed him any affection except me. See, we were really like close. I used to read him stories at night, and he used to read me stories, and, you know,
What kind of story?
Well, we used to read, you know, like, what kinds of stories? Sometimes they would be, like, fantasy stories.
Not fantasy stories.
Yes, fantasy stories.
Did you know fantasy stories are the leading cause of suicide in this state?
No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You don't say that. You don't believe that he committed suicide, do you? Really, please.
I don't think so. But that is a statistic.
Well, maybe you better meet the doctor.
I think I shall.
Okay, well, come. Let me introduce you to the doctor.
Okay. But have you determined the cause of death is?
The cause of death is poisoning.
Poisoning.
Yes.
It says in your autopsy report you think it was suicide.
Definitely. He had a bottle of pills by his bedside, which I had prescribed for him, and there were 20 pills out of that bottle, and I had only ordered the prescription 2 days ago.
I talked to the lady of the house, and she says there were no such pills. There was a bottle that said, "Eat me" on it, and they were filled with candies, no pills. How do you account for that?
What he ingested were the pills that I had ordered for him for his heart condition.
Pills.
He had 20 of the pills which were ordered 2 days ago.
You didn't see any candy there?
Absolutely. The candy may have been there. I was telling you what was ingested in the body. I am not a detective. I don't go around the scene picking up articles that are in the scene. I look at the body.
Can you tell me what led you to this conclusion?
The autopsy, naturally.
Was there poison in his blood?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What type of poison was this?
This was, it was the heart pills that I had prescribed. The nitroglycerin. Instead of one nitroglycerin tablet, which I would have expected in his body, he had 20.
20?
20 times the concentration.
Okay. Are you the butler here?
Of course I am, sir.
Are you sure you're the butler here?
My goodness, sir. Of course I am the butler.
Looks suspicious to me.
You've been reading too many mystery novels, sir.
Okay, what do you know about the murder?
I know very little. I walked into the room.
I noticed you didn't seem to do anything after I mentioned what you know about the murder.
What do you expect me to do, sir?
It was supposed to be a suicide. Why did you react that way?
I thought you were not informed, but most Americans are very ill-informed anyway. I just thought you were just one of them.
Oh, I see. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
You saw the body after it was discovered.
Yes, sir.
What can you tell me about the room?
The room was neat. It was done properly. There was an Afghan on the couch.
On the couch?
Yes. Yes. He was dressed in his smoking jacket, properly, I must say. The lights were dim. The window was slightly ajar. And the telephone was off the hook.
Off.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure, sir.
Was there anything else in that room?
There was a chair in the room.
Did you see anything on the dresser?
On the dresser, sir? Let me think. On the dresser, of course, was the picture of his first wife. It's always there. And on the dresser was also under his jewelry box where he keeps his cufflinks. That's all I think, sir. I can't think of anything else.
Well, thank you very much. I now know who did the murder.
Keep your hands off me, sir. Thank you.
Get all the suspects into the room and I will reveal who it is.
Thank you, sir.
Can you tell us? We've all gathered here. We're waiting.
Well, let me see. The handwriting expert said that there were 2 notes. I showed the handwriting expert 2 notes. According to her, one note was written by a self-centered person, and the other one was written by a very loving, very thoughtful person. Yet these 2 notes should have been written by the same person if it was a suicide. Therefore, I do not think it was a suicide. I think it was a murder.
I told you, I told you.
Then I talked to the doctor. The doctor said, much to my surprise, that our murdered person, I can't remember his name. What was his name?
Jarrett Lentz. Uncle Jerry.
Jarrett Lentz. Yes, of course. Jarrett Lentz. I don't know why it went out of my head. According to the doctor, Jarrett Lentz died of an overdose of nitroglycerin pills.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I counted.
Overdose of nitroglycerin pills. According to the butler, he looked through the entire place and he didn't see anything unusual there. He didn't see any pills on the counter. He didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. According to Cookie, there was something there, right? What was that?
It's a bottle of the Eat Me candies.
Why do you think the butler didn't see it?
You probably ate the Eat Me. You never liked me. You never used to let me play ever with my dolls. You never liked...
Poppycock, absolute poppycock. If
He's
your
mean.
father, if your father would have liked you, then he would have willed the money and his estate to you instead of to me.
Well,
He never did like you.
it's my uncle.
I'm sorry.
You always thought he was my father, and he wasn't my father, and he was my uncle, and he just adopted me because my real parents died.
I'm sorry.
You're
I let the cat out of the bag. I'm sorry. I apologize. He was, of course, your father.
He wasn't my father, he's my uncle.
I understand. That's the way things go sometimes, you know.
He
Mrs.
lies.
He lies.
He lies. He's always lying. He
Who's
doesn't know.
lying?
He doesn't know the truth. He never knows the truth. He said that my father. He said my uncle. He said my uncle didn't. He said my uncle committed suicide, and he didn't commit suicide. Somebody killed him.
Did you know all the evidence here seems to point to you?
To me for what?
You gave me that piece of paper, and according to you, that piece of paper you gave me was exactly how your uncle was. He was a nice person.
Yes, he was a
But
wonderful
you gave
person.
me the paper.
He was a wonderful person.
You gave me the paper.
Which paper? I gave you the red paper.
You gave me the suicide note, and then you gave me another paper to verify that.
That's right.
The other paper didn't seem to check out with the handwriting expert. It was a loving person. And according to all the servants and everybody in the house, he was not a friendly person.
Well, he was friendly to me. Maybe he was schizophrenic. Maybe sometimes he wrote one way and maybe sometimes he wrote another. But with me, he was very loving.
Well, it turns out that I am... What's his face?
That's the face! It's Jared! It's Uncle Ince! Oh, you're not dead after all! And you are my father!
Yes, all I was trying to do is to uncover the fact that the butler was guilty again. I knew it all the time. I put this charade on. Really, it was my twin brother who was killed, and I knew that if I put his body on the floor, that I could solve the murder. And I did it! I did it!
Oh, wonderful!
Never should have worked for Americans.